So Blonde Beer, who's I think is a combination of Blonde Bear, judging his icon, released a 9th Age Fantasy Battles scenario booklet, and honestly, I'm rather impressed with it. It's really well done, and the narratives are at times a little long-winded, but for the most part, they're all extremely good. The best part about this is that including a scenario chart, so it's much easier to simply roll your d3, then roll your d6, and then go to the page on which the scenario resides, which is always extremely handy when trying to get a game going. You don't want to, flip through a booklet or scroll through a PDF file for ages and ages trying to find the one you rolled and the one you chose and all the secondary objectives. So for the most part, I'm going to pause on the selection of the scenario and let you all read, but I'm not going to read off of them. I'm just going to scroll through them. What he's done, and he's done a thing to help kind of break up the monotony of single standard battles. It's really nice to see them break apart the simple system of counting up the number of points you killed and then comparing it to the secondary, because it will get stale after a while. I mean, it does kind of take the fun away. So having these scenarios is always good to have. I like these two actually. Hidden Treasures and Swift Striking really come to me as an extremely well thought out and fun way to do a better secondary objective with interactive terrain. Like on this one, the gaze will hit scoring units and it'll mark them. And then with the secondary, it's the least units under the gaze kill the chest on the table wins the secondary objective. So getting gaze is not a bad thing, but having a gaze unit be killed or chased off the table is a bad thing. It makes it very dynamic. It makes you feel attached to the units. Because the biggest thing right now is that there are times when you don't feel attached to your units. So there's no need to feel attached to your units, except for how much their points are. When you have a better secondary, you'll feel more attached to your units and feel more into the game. Lost Ruins is also a really good one. I like that one. Ancient Artifact is a pretty standard one. The Adversary's Task, it's okay. It's not great, it's not bad. It's just a good, well, not good nor bad. It's just a solid secondary objective. The Long March Home, I hate marching columns deployment, so I came off the cuff not liking it, but you may like it. Meteor Shower is really neat because with Meteor Shower, the terrain in the secondary interacts with your unit. So for instance, say a unit with a caster grabs one of the meteors, that unit gets a reroll of 1 on magic dice. And if your unit already has that, it's a +1 to your casting. So this is a really fun and interactive scenario. I really like it. Good job on that. Holy Girl likes one too. Beer and his team had a lot of fun with this. I can tell, this being creative. It's always nice to be creative, and Beer's never not done good work. So with like the Holy Grail system, you pick out your terrain and then you keep it secret, and then you reveal it, and then you guys try and take the Grail. Hidden Kings is a classic. Always fun to play, and you're gonna hate your friends while playing it. The Spoilers is also a good one. This is actually, they're both really fun, both of these two, and they're both very similar deployment. And with this one, you choose units, and if the chosen units stay alive, and whoever has the most chosen units still alive at the end of the game gets a secondary. Really, really fun. This one is absolutely balls to the walls crazy, if you ask me. You have a 20-inch circle in the center, and you got quadrants for deploying. This thing is insane. And then the secondary is all down here. So Bear, I don't know how much you drank when you made this up, but that's definitely a bit of creativity going into this one. Barrel Stout, I love this one. You basically go in and you try and get the barrel in the center, and I like how they thought out terror checks and flee checks, because if the unit flees, well, it drops the barrel, then doesn't it? If you grab the barrel, your unit is fearless. So it helps kind of break up that easy terror check. Escape from Beyond the Veil. I like this one. I really do. It's frontline clash, it's simple deployment, but the secondary scenarios are really, really interesting. This is what I'm talking about, where Bear helps break up, or Beer breaks up the monotony of the point game. Here you have victory counters. It makes you feel attached to your units because they are worth victory counters. You don't want to give your enemy victory counters. Plus, you get rewarded for being the first to charge. Your opponent is punished for fleeing. That kind of stuff. Really fun. I really like this. Good job on this one too. Beer and Team. Beer Team? Team and Bear? Team and Beer? Whatever. Carnage. I like it. Carnage is a straightforward combat scenario. I love it. Way to go, guys. Hold the line, again, marching columns. Ugh. The secondary is great, but the marching columns, my God, I hate it. It's just my personal opinion. Foul Manners is by far my favorite, because I'm a foul manner kind of guy. Anyone in the forum is going to know that when they hear the term Grouchy Badger, things tend to float here and there. But this one I love. You give 1 unit apiece Frenzy. They don't get Fearless, they get Frenzy, and when they fail a Frenzy test and don't, you get a counter for it. So it's just an awesome, playful, fun scenario. You know, it's great. I love it. And here are the multiple objectives. These are fun. You have you gotta kill scout units. You gotta kill commanders. You gotta do rear charges. You gotta bring down towering presence models. It's just really cool. I love these. These are awesome objectives. And plus, like with Mutiny, you actually reward you for losing your general. It's pretty cool. I love Mutiny. Then the narratives. The narratives get pretty darn awesome, pretty darn quick. Now the Gates of Greed, I was pretty meh on. It's okay. I can see how Warrior Dark Gods fans will like this, because it's all about stealing equipment, and you get points for stealing the equipment. I mean, it's fine. Treasure the Dragon is really interactive. This has a special red dragon monster inside of it that if you get within 6 inches, it's gonna come get you. It's really cool. The only downside to me is marching columns. I don't like marching columns, but this is a really fun little scenario, and then you get points for doing wounds to the dragon. Nice job on that one, guys. The Great Portals. I'm not gonna say I like it, but I'm very not one way or the other on it. I mean, it's there for those who like that kind of stuff. Divine Intervention's interesting. You both get a monster, and that's pretty much the gist of the scenario. Each one gets an Incarnate Beast, and then you win points for killing enemy characters with it, or charging an enemy unit, you know, that kind of stuff. Eye in the Future, it's an interesting idea, and I'm wanting to play it to see how it goes, because there's an oracle when you're playing, and the oracle will give you predictions. So each character unengaged within 3 inches of the oracle gets a fate dice, and the fate dice will allow you to use that dice to re-roll these things down here. Really interesting idea, Beer. Really interesting idea, and it could be a lot of fun, and I can't wait to try it out and see how it is. Mission Impossible, I love this one. I love the idea. You get a secret agent that can go into a unit and sabotage the unit, and it's really cool. And you do it once in the game, so you can sabotage the unit so they can't charge. It's just really cool. I love the idea. It's very Cloak and Dagger, and I love Cloak and Dagger stuff. March to Victory, it's a point-based one, and you get the points from getting your units into the opponent's deployment zone. Really interesting. It should be fun. I mean, it should be fun, because you can use whatever scenario or whatever deployment you want. It says to use Frontline Clash, but I can see this being usable with any kind of deployment, to be honest with you. Strategic objections would be objectives. Yeah, better tell Beer about that one. Like I said, it's an alpha. They're gonna have spelling mistakes. I'm not gonna fucking just rail their butthole on them. But on this one, you have a strategic objective that can move around, and unbreakable, and it's unmovable, and it gets any 2 special bonuses in this table down below right here. So you can give it any 2 of these, which is interesting. That one could be really fun. It could be really strategic for those of us who like this kind of stuff. So I want to try that one too. And the height is gigantic, so you're shooting it with freaking trebuchets and everything else and siege weapons. It's really interesting. I can't wait to see how it goes. Then there's a proper battle. Now this one may be the most played, or the one most chosen, just for a quick, smash 'em up game with scenario objectives. I mean, you go into, you do your pre-game setup, frontline clash, 15 inches from the table. Then you have the winning scenario things down here. You get a VP point for first blood, VP point for who kills the enemy general. This is an excellent addition, and I can see it being played the most out of all of these. Then there's Weather the Storm. Now, this one's really good, really funny, and really thematic because your units can get lost. When I read this, I about laughed for four minutes, you know, because and it's just that's really funny. Then you have like Frostbite, where you remove 3d6 wounds worth of models, and it counts towards victory points for other character. And then additionally, this limits line of sight. You get the roll for the visibility. And that's an awesome thing to do because it means you gotta get real close real close up in there. And I like it. I really like it. Runaway Train. This one is by far the funniest. This has an Infernal Dwarf train running through the middle of the map, right? And the train moves 2d6. Well, if that train comes into contact with your units, it hits your units for 66 strength 4 hits, and then it pushes your unit 3 inches straight from the train, so you're hit by a train. It'll crunk your units. I love it. I love it. It's a lot of humor in that beer. I really appreciate that one. Now, In the Mountains is for Dwarf or Infernal Dwarf versus X, and this is very much, to me, seems like a siege scenario, because the dwarves get more access to more range weaponry and more siege engines, and then you're attacking them. Really interesting. It's basically a siege scenario, and we haven't had a siege scenario in a long time, actually. I think maybe there may have been one in homebrew for Warhammer, but it's an awesome idea. And beer, if you're gonna have a dwarf one, have like a castle siege. That way the rest of us can have fun. So please insert a castle siege soon, TM. And then of course for the add-ons they have a mirror match, unhinged flux, where there are additional things in the bottom here for the flux cards. Great idea. I mean, why not? Then there's the wild miscast, and these have double, triple, quadruple, and quintuple modifiers to them. I wish they would add this to the actual rulebook, because this could be some pretty wacky shit. and it's a great idea. I mean, it's awesome. I like it. It's an awesome, thematic, fun idea, and 9th Age is about having fun, to be honest with you. But Beer, you did a great job with this. You had one spelling mistake that I found inside. I've already went and told Sweats about it, but well done. I cannot wait to try it out. You guys did an excellent job, and for any feedback that I have until my ban is lifted from the forums, I'll give it to Switz and he'll give it to you. So I urge everyone listening to try this out. They put a lot of work into it, and they deserve to have someone play it and test it out for them. But until then, next time I make another video, keep a strong dice hand and happy wargaming.